This is George Sicalius, and this is assignment 2. Um, okay, so starting with question 1, I'm just gonna run it. Okay, so it produces the shape and color. Um, so what I did is I basically wrote over my homework from last week. So all I really had to change was instead of taking in a array of vectors, I had to change it to take in simple vertex, which is a structure which takes both the position and a vector representing color. Um, so yeah, I passed those in uh, for the vertex buffer. Indices stayed the same. Everything else stayed the same. I had to change simple color in order to read the color input from the vertex buffer. Um, so yeah. Oh, and that also meant that I had to change the layouts. Where's that? Here. Yeah. So I had to change it to both read in the position and the color. So that's it for number 1. Um, okay, this is number 2. Number 2, I did both number 2 and number 3. Um, so looking at the header file, first I'm reading in a color, then position, at least on this side. But for my layout, I have it structured so that I'm reading position at the 16th byte, because within this structure, position starts at the 16th byte, color starts at the 0th bytes. So I have those hard coded in. So to get the solid color, I had to create a pair of vertices for each triangle. So this represents top triangle, the right triangle, etc. My indices also had to reflect that. I didn't have to change anything in my shader code. This is the exact same thing from the first question. So that's 2 and 3. This is 4, yeah. Okay. So for 4, open it up. It's 2 colors. Click it. Turns into 2 different colors. So I have a CB color. This is to be read over to the GPU into the constant buffer. I'm not sure if I'm phrasing that right. Yeah, okay. So in my C++ file, okay, so for my vertex buffer, I had to change it so that it reads in a position and an integer value, which represents an indice within the constant buffer. Do I have to change anything above besides my layout? No. Indice stays the same. I had to set the constant buffer as well for color changing. So when I start the program, it starts off as green and red, and then upon clicking, it changes into dark gray and maroon. So in the actual shader code, so I'm reading in the vertex data. It was given a position and a integer representing the index. Read into the vertex shader, and then that's given to the pixel shader. And then if I'm understanding this correctly, so the constant buffer, it exists, it's just an array that exists somewhere on the GPU. But the shader constant, which is buff color, will then retrieve that constant buffer and use that for this call right here, if I'm understanding that correctly. And yeah. Okay. And then for the last question, with the triangle, so run it and it's dark in the middle, and then as it goes out, it gradually becomes lighter. But just the triangle gets lighter, the background doesn't also get lighter. So where was, okay. So from what I understand, the only thing that's getting sent to the shader is the vertex buffer. Well, the only thing that's being read by the shader is the vertex buffer. So everything else, it might be getting sent to the GPU, but it's not getting read by the shader. So this only applies to this right here. So yeah, that's it.